Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel called Storm Revelation. I'm your host, NP or Nurse Practitioner Rose. And so this is part 2 of a video that I did earlier. And the video basically was talking about how to raise your son with love and how a young man interprets love is by the respect that his mother shows him. And I gave the definition of what respect was. And I gave biblical context as to how a woman shows respect. And the two biblical concepts that I gave came from Ephesians 5, verse 33, where it says, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that a woman should love her husband. It says that a woman should respect her husband. Why? Because a woman, by showing respect to a man, he is able to internalize that as love, thereby displaying that same emotion and expression to the woman that's in his life. And that starts at a young age. And you have to raise a child in the way that they should go so that they do not depart from that path. And so as a woman in the Black culture society, we need to understand that we cannot lash out at our sons because of the attachments and the bad relationships that we had with their fathers. And in this movie, there's a scene where the mother does exactly just that. And one of the friends said you shouldn't speak to him that way. And the woman's response was, you mind your own business. I can't stand his father. And which I'm using clean language. The movie expressed it a little bit differently. But the whole concept of the movie was how women are very angry. Black women are very angry. And how men are getting tired of the anger that women have. And I wanted to specifically speak on this topic because the video and what hurt me and what affected me and what I thought was completely wrong and most people don't address in our society is women and men are made differently. The needs that we have are made differently. Now, there are a difference between a want and a need. Okay, so metaphorically speaking, a car needs gasoline. You may not want to put gasoline in the car. You may not have the money to put gasoline in the car. You might be tired from a day working, your tank is on E and you don't want to stop. You just want to go straight home and go to bed. But guess what? What you want does not matter, because if you don't put gas in the car because it needs it, the car's going to stop functioning. It's going to stop working. It's going to die out on you. It's going to leave you stranded on the side of the road. And this is the exact same concept. God designed us differently. And God designed a man to need respect. He doesn't want respect. He needs respect. And in respecting a man, he learns to love himself and he learns to love the woman that is going to be his wife in the near future. And so it starts with how he was raised. So how us women raise our sons matters. It really, really matters. And we need to show our sons respect. So check out the video. Just for a short summary, the word respect means to have special consideration, to show worthy esteem. It means to honor, to have regards towards. And so the word respect basically means to honor. And when you honor your son, you respect him. When you show your son that he is worthy by giving him a worthy esteem, and that's a sense of self, then you respect him. And by respecting your son, he internalizes that and interprets that as love. And he's able to externalize it to society, externalize it to his future wife. And so I wanted to just reiterate this topic, and I wanted to get into a little bit more of the Hebrew context of the word love or the word respect, and how it translates into the word love and the language of a man. Okay. And before I get into that, the other topic or the other content or concept that I brought up was 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1 through 2, where it says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husband, so that even if they do not believe in the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives, when they see your respect and pure conduct. So basically, this passage is saying, even if your husband or the person that you're with, if you're in the beginning stage of your relationship, and God gave you the sign, and you have discernment, and God spoke to you and said, this is going to be your husband, but there's some kinks that need to be worked out. Even if this person is unevenly yoked with you, and that's a very sensitive topic for a lot of different people, and I'm not saying get with somebody who's unevenly yoked. However, God has a way of changing things and doing things that you don't understand. So just seek God, and he will direct your path. And lean not to your own understanding, and he'll tell you exactly what you need to do, how you need to do, and he'll give you the blueprint for that. So that's a whole other topic, which I'm not going to get into. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if a person does not believe in God, you can influence that person to believe in God and to become saved by the way you behave. And it's not only by your conduct, but it's by your respect, and you respecting that person that you're with. And as women, we are influencers, even though nobody ever told you that. But there are so many biblical stories where a woman influenced a man to either do bad things or to do good things. Samson and Delilah is one of those concepts or biblical stories where Delilah is an influencer and leading Samson to make the bad decision or the bad choices by revealing the secret to his strength. And this woman was such an influencer, Delilah was such an influencer, that she influenced him and nagged him on a daily basis. And what does this tell us? This tells us that if we conduct ourselves in a persistent and consistent way, we get results. Because Delilah did not give up. Delilah, every single day, daily it said. It didn't say the time frame of how much daily was. Daily could have been 3 months. Daily could have been 6 months. Daily could have been 4 weeks. But it's not the point of the length of time. It's the fact that it was a daily consistency, and the behavior and the conduct that she engaged in, and getting to know what his secret was, to the point that he was like, you know what? I'm tired of your nagging, because you've been so persistent and so consistent with pursuing this subject matter of me me telling you where my strength lies. Here it is. I'm just going to listen. Here it is. I'm telling you exactly what you want to know. Stop it already. Stop nagging me. I don't want to hear your mouth no more. I give up. And so this is the same mindset as women we need to have when it comes to changing the behaviors of the people that we influence. It has to do with consistency, and it has to do with persistency. And it needs to be something that you engage in on a daily basis. And you have to demonstrate that. It's through demonstration, not just through your actions, not just through your words, but through your actions. And there needs to be consistency and persistency. And because Delilah was consistent and persistent on a daily basis, she was able to influence Samson to make a bad decision, the same way that she could have influenced him to make a good one. And so as women, we are influencers. God uses us as a vessel to make impact and to make change. We need to embrace that, and we need to be able to transfer that into our sons. Transfer that so that we can stop complaining about the men that we create. I know you don't want to admit it, but that's just what the fact is. It's so true. It's so black and white that there's no arguments that you can throw at me. There's nothing that you can say, because the products of what we're raising is what we're getting back. I'm going to say that again. The products of what we are raising as women, meaning the product of the males that we are raising, our sons, are the product that we end up getting back. And so it ends up being this vicious cycle, because your partner or your son's father had a mother who did not respect him, who didn't speak life into him, who told him he would never be nothing, who told him, he was no good just like his father. Turns out that he ends up doing what? A self-fulfilling prophecy. He fulfills that same word that you spoke over him because he believes it. So now he's acting in it. And we need to start to break that cycle. And so let's go ahead and look at the word respect and what it means and the Hebrew terminology, which is the whole purpose of me doing the second part of this video. So it's basically a two-phase word. And the phrase is nasa fanim. Nasa fanim, which means lift up the face. Lift up the face. And it can also be translated to render, accept, or respect the person. Okay? And so let's look at what the first part of the word nasa mean. Nasa, again, this is a Hebrew word, and the word means to lift, to bear up, to carry. It means to support, to sustain, to endure. It also means to forgive. It means to be exalted, to lift oneself up, to rise up, to be carried. And another word or another definition is to bear continuously, to bear continuously. And this is what the word nasa mean, and which is the first part of the word or the definition, which means to lift up. Now, the word phanim translates into the word phantom, which means an image or a face. And so the two words together, nasa phanim, is the Hebrew word that means lift up the face, accept and respect the person. And so this is what you need to be displaying to your son, is nasa phanim. And the verse that I referred to before in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33, it is a direct depiction of that word nasa phanim. And we need to, as women, uplift our men. And the way we uplift our men is by raising them in the way they should go, by respecting them and lifting them up. Lifting them up, showing them that they are worthy, speaking life into them, because there is power in the tongue. Even though that whole saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me, whoever said that is a lie. Because people commit suicide all the time based on bullying and based on words that affect how they feel about themselves. Okay? So that whole concept is not a biblical concept. That is a bully that probably made that concept up, but it is not a biblical concept. So throw that saying away. Don't even say it no more, because there's no truth to it whatsoever. Okay. Everything you'll find needs to be biblical truth, and that's where your truth actually lies. And let's look at the Greek word, which means to regard or to respect. And it means to look upon, to regard, to have respect for, to be preferred, to notice. And the Greek word is epibelpa. Epibelpa. And I'll spell it. I might be saying it wrong because I don't speak Hebrew. So I'm doing my best to pronunciate the word. And the spelling is E as in elephant, P as in Paul, I as in igloo, B as in boy, L as in Larry, E as in elephant, P as in Paul, and O as in Oscar. Epibelpo, okay? And it means to look on with favor. Epibelpo. It means to look on with favor. So God is telling you that you need to look upon your son with favor. By looking upon your son with favor through this concept and through this term of respect, you're able to release him into the world so that he can love himself. And if you love yourself, you're able to better display it. You're secure in the things that you do, and you're able to show and model that same behavior and display it from the inside out. When you build a bridge, the bridge starts with a foundation. That foundation is our internal self. And in order for you to build yourself, you need to be able to love yourself first. And so that means going through the healing. That means forgiveness. That means a lot of different things. And so no matter where you are right now in your walk, you need to realize that if you have a son, you need to be able to look upon him with favor. You need to be able to lift him up with esteem. Look at him with regards and with honor. And then we won't have the problems we have now in relationships with the men that we are producing are the men who end up affecting society, because we as women are raising our men who are our boys who turn into men the wrong way, because we're not respecting them. We're talking down to them because of something that we experienced personally with their father. And so that's something that you need to resolve. It's something that you need to, speak to. If you are not plugged into a church, then maybe you need to be able to seek out outside counseling. There are life coaches that talk about relationship. There are coaches that deal with specific healing and trauma. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian coach. A lot of the biblical concepts are out there in mainstream society. They just don't give the Bible credit for the concepts and the processes that they use, but they still come from the Bible. The laws that we have in society are all biblical. They're all biblical laws. And so we need to understand that the Bible holds the truth to the way we need to live life. It holds the truth to the answers of everything that we seek is in the Bible. Why? Because God knew us. He created us in his image. He knew what we would be because he knew us from before we were even born. He knew us when we were in our mother's womb. So he knows what our trajectory path is. And he never told us that we wasn't going to go through storms. He never said that we weren't going to be rained on. He just said, when the rain is pouring on you, you need to hold on to me. You need to include me in that outpour because I've already gone out before you and be your banner so that whatever it is that is being poured down on you, you can handle it. Why? Because I'm with you. I'm walking with you. So I want you to be able to apply these concepts. So if you are a mother who don't respect your son, and if you are not raising him in a respectful manner, and if you're not looking at him with favor, you're not developing his self-esteem and his sense of self-worth, and you're not honoring him, then you need to change your mindset and you need to change your heart posture and let go of the hurt that his father put you through, because you're going to end up with that same vicious cycle. And now's the time to break that generational curse. Now's the time to break that pattern of having an angry man who is basically inflicting not only self-hurt, but inflicting hurt and pain on other women as well. That way the Black culture can stop being angry. Black women can stop being angry based on past hurt and pain and taking it out on their kids, or better yet, their sons, because the cycle ends up being the same thing. You end up putting out the same byproduct of what you received. And that's not what you want. The result end up being the exact same. You're just making your son actually go towards a woman to get the same result and make you feel, or make her feel the same way you felt or you're feeling right now. So get the help that you need, get plugged in. If you're already in a church-based community, speak to your chaplain, speak to your pastor, speak to your reverend, your deacon, your priest, whatever denomination you are. Just seek that healing. That the bottom line is, you need to seek that healing so you can break the mindset, so that you can end up letting go of the emotions. Because remember, we said in Proverbs 4 verse 23, it said the emotional attachments you make determine the course of your life. And I want you to live by that, because this is exactly what we're talking about. The emotional attachment that your son develops while you raise him determines the course of his life. You are the predictor for that. So let's start doing the right thing. Let's start breaking cycles, and let's start speaking life and empowerment and strength into our male sons, so that they can end up being productive, and so that their emotional attachments are secure, because we showed them the proper love and respect that we needed to, so that they can internalize that and be able to externalize it to the life that they're living. And so thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is Storm Revelation. If you like this video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment. If there's a topic that you want to know a little bit more about, please send me a message. You can also email me directly at rb.stormrevelations with an S at gmail.com. Again, it's rb.stormrevelations@gmail.com. And hit that subscribe button as well, so that you can get notifications of videos. I'm going to be putting up more videos, because there's a lot of content that needs to be spoken about. So wherever the Holy Spirit leads me to speak about, that's what I'm going to speak about. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. And remember to develop stabilized and secure emotional attachments. That way your course of life will end up being a positive one. All right. Thank you for joining. God bless. Bye.